Hello all, my name is Mars, and welcome back to the Rise of the Golden Idol. I'm a little late to the party, but I'm finally getting around to the Curse of the Last Reaper DLC. This DLC takes place across two timelines aboard a pirate ship called the Last Reaper in 1797, and in 1927 when the ship's wreckage is unearthed. So it looks like it involves swapping back and forth between these timelines and putting together treasure maps. And I don't know how it's going to tie into the main game, or maybe even to the first game, Case of the Golden Idol, because the timelines, the 1700s, kind of take place around the same time. The one thing I'm sure of, I've got the feeling it might not answer all the lingering questions I had after the last DLC, because if you'll remember, I was really confused by that. So I feel like I should address this before I start. I've been taking a break from Let's Playing, for many reasons, but the primary one is that I just can't keep myself motivated to sit down and do it. I'm feeling motivation now, though, and I need to grab that opportunity when it's there. So the first thing I knew I needed to do was jump into this last Golden Idol DLC, because it's been maybe my favorite series that I've done in the past year or so. I've just really enjoyed coming back to it again and again, and showing off how stupid and how smart I can be. Alright, that aside, thank you for not abandoning the channel. I've even been gaining some subscribers in the past week or so, which is surprising to me since I haven't been posting, but I don't know. All that aside, let's just jump into the Curse of the Last Reaper. Alright, so this is a Lemurian ship being approached by pirates. Pay heed to the Curse of the Last Reaper. A horrifying tale for the ages. Alright, so okay, this is probably what we just saw. We're on the Mesirade Islands. And we're gonna start with this distraught-looking man. Last orders. A deadly end and a murderous beginning. Alright. So here we are on the pirate ship, and I can already see, yes, we're jumping between 1797 and 1927. Let's start with the man bleeding on the floor. Is that a cut across his face, or is he wearing a... No, I think he has been slashed across the face. That is unpleasant to look at. I'm sorry, son. I'm so sorry. He's got a key with a fish and a 2 on the tag, and the pistol is empty. The barrel is still warm. So this must be the son. What on earth were you doing traveling with something so dangerous? If I'd have known what was in that crate, I'd never have let you keep it in your room. A corkscrew and a washcloth. If found, please return to Wesley Beckett, barkeep at the Red Herring Inn in Port Armando. Port Armando and the Red Herring Inn, were those locales from the first game? It has been so long since I played the first game. I barely remember any of the story. If this is gonna make me remember that, I'm not gonna do well. The Rise of the Golden Idol, the second game, that's all fresh on the mind, but substantial reward available if you return the guest book. August 13th, 1797. Room 1, Eleanor. Do not disturb. Room 2, Eleazar. Requested healer, Joliffe. Room 3, Marlowe. Blind. Wants to change room. I'm guessing that Wesley Beckett is this guy. Alright, so there's a fellow out here. What is the meaning of this strange sketch that the evil beast dropped as it fled into the waves? A bad omen, perhaps? If so, I fear the bosun's prognosis is grim. So that must be Ooh, yes, so this blood trail is going from the dock to the inn, so he came off a boat, presumably to go see his son, who works on the mainland. And there's a beast. I feel like I've kind of ignored the most pertinent fact here, is that there's an evil beast. Dear mother. Okay. She looks lovely. A red tincture. Dried roots and herbs. I thought that was like a shrunken head at first. No, I see what they mean. The Red Herring Inn, rooms available. Okay, and I don't think there's anything else inside, so we just gotta go to 1927. There's quite a bit more going on here. Age a Leaf, that was the name of the healer. What are you barking at? What have you seen? Oh, heaven have mercy. Is this the same man as before? Or is he related to that man? My noble son, I leave to you this necklace which belonged to my father Abacus. So, the man we saw before must have been Abacus, obviously. No one can live that long. Except, of course, for Guy from the first game. May you hand it down to your own children one day, your loving father. So Abacus must be the man that we saw before, and this is the grandson? Edward, I'll raise my bid 12,000 monies. This is my final offer. And keys. Okay, this is what the dog is barking at. Ew! They've got bones coming out of them. And, like, the same weird slash across the face that the other guy had. The woman is not breathing. Oh, that is the most gruesome body yet, I think. Yikes. Okay, so there's a route going from here to here. A map of the docks, perhaps. A crowbar. A manhole cover key, so she works in the sewers, perhaps? Captain Radigan Olita's pub crawl boat tour of the Mesirade Islands. Highlights include the rusty anchor and the raised tankard. Oh, did I miss something on the horrifying woman? The woman has 12,000 inside her boot, which is the same amount that someone was raising their bid. Okay, there's still more? What am I missing? Oh. I so desperately wanted to not be looking at her anymore that I kept clicking away. Ms. Bordy, as agreed, here is the 12,000 in advance. Once you are done, meet me back at the entry and exit point in the courtyard in front of the museum. As per your instructions, once you have given me what I have paid for, I will ride off into the night, never for you to hear from me again. Okay, so someone gave her this money. Alright. Here's a manhole. One of those cigarettes that we saw in the very beginning of the main game. Inside the museum. Old Woman by Unknown Artist. Donated by Age a Leaf. Flintlock pistol. Once owned by one of the pirates from Captain Trayton's infamous crew, who went missing along with their ship the Last Reaper after looting a Lemurian vessel. This specimen was discovered on a nearby beach after the tsunami of 1905 washed away one of the Mesirade Islands. So, a kind of human but not quite human creature. The doors are locked. Jaleef. Are these guys Jaleefs? Could this missing portrait of an old woman have been donated by Abacus Jaleef? Maybe. Maybe that's the family who the necklace belongs to. Cost me a pretty penny, this map, but it's gonna pay off big. Real big. Map piece discovered. Okay. What proves each map is not the original from 1797? Oh boy, there are multiple maps? I guess so, we still have a lot of spots left. The Battered Cod. It's changed its name. Established 1892, so this came long after the... Was it called the Red Herring? I don't remember what the other bar was called. Red Herring would be funny. Hey boss, it's Marsh. Guess what I've got a hold of? The one and only remaining map from Captain Triton's final voyage. Positive. It's the real deal. Okay. How close am I gonna have to be paying attention to these latitudes and longitudes? I was never very good at that. In school. So this horse has the cigarettes with the boat on them in its pocket, so that must be its saddlebag. So that must be whoever was fooling around outside the manhole cover, which might be Miss Bordy, because she has the manhole cover key. This horse belongs to an ES. And this piece of a map has monsters and stuff on it. I should take a closer look at like what stuff is on this map. These maps. So this one is just a bunch of lighthouses. This guy's has, I'm guessing, like pubs on it. This could be this is the Battered Cod, yeah. So they're saying this map is saying that this treasure is located on an island with a pub called the something Tankard or something, and that it is to the north of this island with the Rusty Cod. The Battered Cod, whatever. Alright, inside the pub where that poor man died. Not 200 years ago, 150 years ago? I don't know, I can't do math that fast. Leg cutters loot with lighthouse. Port Armando Times. Gangsters used the lighthouse at Port Armando to crash ships so that they could rob them. The leg cutters used the ploy to run around 3 vessels yesterday. Okay, so something about lighthouses. The 5th annual Airplane Stunt Championships took place yesterday. Keith Chalmers, Lawrence Fryer, and Percy Greggs came first, 2nd and 3rd respectively. Last year's winner, Eliza Swan, did not take part. No reason has yet been given. The ships were done plundered by the gang's sole female member, known only as Light Hands Loretta. Okay, this is part of this. The crime mimicked an infamous heist carried out in 1814 using the St. Osmond Lighthouse on Skull Island, which had been built just a year earlier. Okay. So there's a lighthouse on Skull Island. I don't know how that helps me. A shame to see that goateed fool leave. I was enjoying watching him drool over his modern forgery. At least Mr. Wiles and Miss Swan are still here to amuse me with their naivete. So she's got a map with animals on it. Pig, pufferfish, turtle, shrimp. This is Skull Island. Do all of them have a Skull Island on them? This one has a Skull Island. This one has a Skull Island. This one has a Skull Island. They don't all have a Skull Island, though. Okay. Yeah, get rid of that, and look at this. Kitson Squirrel. This species of squirrel was discovered by Kitson, who immediately noticed its penchant for conspiring with animals of other species, and its distrust of fellow squirrels. Solemn Puffer. Discovered in 1823, this pufferfish is known to emit toxins that raise blue patches on the skin when it is attacked. It can be identified by the double-cross symbol on its back. Cyanic Chameleon. This lizard's ultimate weapon is its camouflage, with triggers whenever the reptile is tampered with. Tropical elephant. Only found in the Mesirade Islands, this elephant has an incredible memory and a fondness for shellfish. It is known to trample the surrounding fauna when panicking. Port Local Library. Okay, so these are people who have checked out this book. This could be Myrtle's song then, because she has it currently. I haven't even, like, tried to figure out whose names are whose. So she has the map with the animals on it. Double cross symbol. It only has the one animal on it that resembles anything that was mentioned in this book. I don't know. Oh, and she's got a ring. A ruby ring. Sorry to burst your bubble, Jasper, but that's a fake. I've got the real one right here in my pocket. Wait, where's it gone? A knife. Stabbed? Trust me, Eliza. Yours isn't worth the paper it's drawn on anyway. My research proves that mine is the genuine artifact. Okay, so these must be like their exports. Sugar, coffee, booze, peppers. And the booze comes from Skull Island, okay. The battered cod. Receipt. Table 1, Ansel M. 1 Mariner's Lightning, amount to pay 3 monies. Then there's that. On this spot, more than 100 years ago, Bosun Garner was mauled to death. Okay. Alright, let's work out names. Bosun Garner. Hold on. Let's go back here. Wesley Beckett. I guessed earlier that this man could be Wesley Beckett. In which case, Garner could be a first name. His name could be Garner Beckett because he says, "I'm sorry, son." So I'm guessing his last name is the same as his son's. Because that's how families work. So his name could be Garner Beckett. That doesn't sound right. Garner does not sound like a first name to me. This man I was pretty sure was Abacus Joliffe. This man is also a Joliffe. I remember this woman was Miss Bordy. Okay, let's go back here. You checked out this library book. Your name should be Myrtle Song. I don't know what day it is. Myrtle Song. This is Edward Joliffe, E. Joliffe. He's the museum curator. Edward Joliffe. This belongs to an ES. This guy is Marsh. Whatever his first name is, I don't know. Why are there so many versions of this map floating around? Okay, I think we know for sure this woman. She's Eliza Swan. And his name is Jasper, and she was talking about what his name was, Mr. Wiles, Jasper Wiles. Alright, so these two men and this woman we're not sure about. Ansel M. Ansel Marsh. He's the goateed idiot that she was talking about. Ansel Marsh. Alright, no clue about this guy. Cost me a pretty penny, this map, but it's gonna pay off big, real big. He bought it from somebody. Once you have given me what I have paid for, I will ride off into the night, never for you to hear from me again. I feel like this is from this man in the boat. But... and what would be the exit and entrance point? It's hard for me to really tell where exactly we are. I guess this is the museum and this is... oh, that's the bridge? Yeah. Okay, I see what that map means, more or less. Alright, where do all our names come from? Okay, so this I'll raise my bid probably has nothing to do with anything. It probably just has to do with museum business. Hold on. He's looking at a map, isn't he? It has... okay, so this picture of his mother is printed on the back of the map. This strange sketch that the evil beast dropped as it fled into the waves. Is this the strange sketch? Or is the stuff on the back the strange sketch? Or maybe the maps have nothing to do with this at all. Okay. Yeah, it is called the Red Herring Inn. That's funny. Radigan Olita's? Pub called Crawl Boat. Could this be Radigan Olita? He's wearing the same hat and pipe. Yeah. Radigan Olita. Okay. Now we just need to figure out what this woman's first name is. I don't remember seeing a woman's first name anywhere. Who is ES? Eliza Swan, okay. And the reason she didn't have her map is because she left it in her saddlebag. Okay. Ansel M. The ships were then plundered by the gang's sole female member known as Light Hands Loretta. Could she be Loretta? 2 or fewer incorrect. Okay. Huh. Okay. So there are 2 incorrect. That was one I was confident in. Okay, so this one is wrong. Okay, everyone is correct except for Garner Beckett. What was her name? Wesley Beckett. Bosun Garner. Ah, you have a room key. To Eleazar Garner. Okay, so when he says, "I'm sorry, son, I'm so sorry," that's not really his son. He's just saying, "My boy," you know? Okay, so Eleazar Garner. Yay, okay. Alright, so now we got to figure out these maps. What is wrong about each of these maps? Which of these maps is not the original from 1797? Okay, I'm guessing for this one it's this. What was the logo of the bar in 1797? The logo was different. Okay, so I'm putting that down. Okay. Where did it mention Skull Island? I need to find that. It was on here, right? It can be identified by the double cross symbol on its back. Okay. That seems alright to me. The St. Osmond Lighthouse on Skull Island, which had been built just a year earlier in 1814. Okay, so there wasn't a lighthouse on Skull Island in 1797. So I'm gonna put that down. Okay, so there's a pufferfish there. Is there anything wrong about, like, discovered in 1823? Okay, that's the problem. It's not about any of these having, like, incongruous, like, information that's incorrect. It's that they have information that wouldn't have been around in the 1700s. Okay. Okay. So now we have beasts and exports. Okay, sugar, coffee, booze, peppers. Where would I see anything wrong with that? It wouldn't possibly be here. Would it? I don't think so. Somebody stole the map from the museum. That's what I'm getting. Maybe Loretta stole the map from the museum and that's what her entrance and exit points were about. Yeah, because it looks like she's going through the museum. Okay. Through the manhole cover. Ah, the rusty anchor and the raised tankard. The rusty anchor and the raised tankard. Those are pub. Those are stops on the pub crawl. And there is an anchor and a tankard on the... Oh, but... Okay, we already got that one. I'm not seeing where there are any hints for either of these. Hold on, maybe if we look in the museum. The specimen was discovered on a nearby beach after the tsunami of 1905 washed away one of the Mesirade Islands. Okay, so maybe this creature? Do any of these things look like that creature? Not really. I don't think so. I wish I could get a closer look. Who had the one with the sea monsters on it? She did. Okay. I have a feeling that hers is going to be the real one. But it's going to get stolen because she left it outside. I like the little trinkets hanging up around this bar. Who's that little guy? I recognize him. This little frog. This ugly scribble of a man. This horrible pig. I love it. Okay. My research proves that mine is a genuine artifact. Where does anything say anything about any of these, or about any monster? Alright, I'm going to see... None of these monsters really look humanoid to me, so I don't think I can use this as a reference. Hold on. On a nearby beach after the tsunami of 1905 washed away one of the Mesirade islands. One of these is going to have an island missing. I need to figure out... Skull Island is not in this one. So Skull Island always shows up between this little island and this big kind of L-shaped island. It shows up with the teeth facing the L-shaped island here. It shows up with the teeth facing the L-shaped island here. It shows up with the little island at its head and its teeth facing the L-shaped island here. Here's where it would be on this map. There is no Skull Island. Skull Island is the island that washed away in 1905. But Skull Island would have been there in 1797. I just need to check one thing. The crime mimicked an infamous heist carried out in 1814, when Skull Island was still around. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, that was tricky. That was a tricky one. The fact that there is nothing where Skull Island should be. Yes, alright. Okay, so this guy actually, I was wrong. This guy has the real artifact. Okay. Now we need to figure out what happened, which should be so much fun. In 1797, someone did something to... Hold on. To Eleazar Garner. I'm gonna say... a beast mauled. Mauled is the word that was used. Mauled to death was the word used, so that's the word I'm gonna use. A beast mauled Eleazar Garner, who in turn... shot who in turn did something to the beast. Hold on, I need to look at that scene again. The barrel is still warm. Okay, so I think he shot the beast. The evil beast dropped as it led into the waves. Okay, I think he shot the beast, who in turn shot the beast. Afterwards, Abacus Jolie found a map outside. Found a map outside. Alright, that's everything we need to know there. In 1927, someone hired someone to something the something. Probably steal the map from the museum. Okay, I think we can... Alright. So I think that Radigan Olita, because he said it cost him a pretty penny and Loretta was being paid, hired Loretta Bordy to... Nope. Steal the map from... Hold on, this is just easier. From Edward Joliffe's museum. Nope. Go away. Museum. However, someone tried to something with the something. So someone with a something. Okay, so it sounds like Loretta was just like kind of beaten up. It certainly looks like she was attacked by a beast, but the way that this is phrased makes me think that no, she was just beaten up really bad. Really badly. Yikes. And I guess she tried to flee with the map. However, Loretta Bordy tried to flee with the map. Is that why she crossed some stuff out? Why did she cross this out? I don't know. Because she's tried it and it didn't work? I don't know. Try to flee with the map. Alright, I need to figure out what the murder weapon was. I would guess it's the crowbar. This guy doesn't have anything on him. So, Radigan Olita battered. Loretta Bordy with a crowbar. Nope, okay. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. I'm gonna read this note again. As per your instructions, once you have given me what I have paid for, I will ride off into the night, never for you to hear from me again. He's got a tattoo on his arm. What does that have to do with anything? Maybe this guy paid for it. Maybe this is a red herring when he says it cost him a pretty penny. He might have gotten it from somewhere else. Let's try replacing Radigan Olita with Ansel Marsh. No. That didn't work. pretty sure the first part is right. He was mauled to death. We know that much. And we know that it was a beast because that is what Abacus says. There's nothing else that it could have been. Okay, I'm going to clear this. But leave this the same. We need to figure out who hired Loretta, because she was obviously hired for something. She has the same tattoo. She has the same tattoo as him. They are both part of the same gang. That's what the tattoo is for. The leg cutters. Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, so they must be working together. Let's try this. In 1927, let's try this. Radigan, Olita. Maybe this is the leg cutters? I feel like the leg cutters go somewhere. In 1927, somebody hired someone. But I feel like if both Loretta and, what's his name, Ansel, if they were both... Hold on. If they were both hired, then why is there only one spot to say someone hired someone? Wouldn't it be they hired the leg cutters? I'm confused. Okay, I'm pretty sure steal the map from Edward Jalief's museum is correct. That part I'm pretty sure of. So who hired who? Here is the $12,000 in advance. Once you are done, meet me back at the entry-exit point in the courtyard in front of the museum. Okay, so in front of the museum. I'll raise my bid $12,000. This is my final offer. Could this be important? Could the connection between the $12,000... Is this another red herring? Alright, I'm just trying to figure out words that... It doesn't really make sense to me that anyone other than this guy would have beat up Loretta, Ansel. Ansel, Marsh, battered, Loretta Bordy with a crowbar. Maybe she tried to conspire with the museum? She tried to conspire with the museum. That's what she was thinking about paying Edward. I don't understand what these two different lines could mean. I feel like one of them is Loretta and one of them is Ansel. And Loretta would have come out of there. I feel like the brand of cigarette is important. So, whoever this horse belongs to. Oh, excuse me. You have the real map. I haven't even been considering you because he looks like such a dweeb, am I right? But he has the real map. And there's no reason to believe that anything other than the real map was hanging up in that museum. It was on the back of that portrait of the old woman. So... And Ansel was here. Ansel was drinking in here. Mr. Wiles and Miss Swan are still here to amuse me with their naivete. I mean, he's here drinking. So... maybe it was Jasper Wiles. She tried to flee with the map. Let's try this. Jasper Wiles hired Loretta Bordy. Okay, 2 or fewer incorrect. Okay. Okay, there are 2 incorrect, so it's probably a name. Let's try this. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. I'm pretty sure this is correct, so I'm just gonna try the names in this portion. Jasper Wiles hired Loretta Bordy to steal the map from Edward Jollife's museum. However, Loretta Bordy tried to... no. So she tried to flee with the map. So Jasper Wiles did indeed beat her up. And it was Loretta who fled. So he battered Loretta Bordy with... I mean... I think we're supposed to figure it out because the cigarettes belong to somebody who is currently inside the pub because his horse is stationed there. Okay. Oh, and there's another manhole here, so he could have come out of the manhole. Made his life a little easier, wouldn't have had to be all conspicuous. Okay. I'm gonna... maybe crowbar is wrong? Okay. Stabbed her with a knife. Mauled her with a crowbar. I think Mauled and Crowbar, these two are the ones that are wrong. Trampled her with a horse? That horse is dripping. That horse is dripping, which means it just got a washing. I thought it looked like she was mauled by an animal, and she was. Hold on. He trampled her with a horse. Alright. Okay. Good start to this one. Good start. That one was tricky, but fun. Loretta was supposed to exit the sewers via the manhole cover outside the front of the museum. Instead, she left through the one behind the museum in an attempt to escape with the map. But Jasper spotted her, chased her on horseback, and trampled her to death. Afterwards, he washed the blood from his horse's legs in a trough in the alley. Jasper, Eliza, allow me to introduce you to the rest of the team. You already know Miss Song, our scientific advisor. What branch of science do you specialize in? Animal physiology. Tally-ho! That's Ivan Kearns, our driver and explorer extraordinaire. I'm sure you've heard of him. And last but not least, our trusty captain. Ready to set sail, sir. Okay, I can't believe they're just giving us this guy's name and not having us guess it ourselves. We should read this. Esteemed gentlemen, on the 27th of February, a Lemurian vessel was unlawfully attacked and her cargo pillaged. This incident has enraged Lemurians even more than such acts typically warrant. Accordingly, I hereby issue the following strict orders. All vessels entering our harbors or encountered upon the high seas by our naval forces shall be thoroughly searched for Lemurian relics. Any such articles discovered are to be seized forthwith. Any persons found in possession of said articles are to be apprehended and, following a proper and lawful tribunal, hanged for piracy, as befits their crime. This order shall remain in place for 20 years, so 40 years. Sincerely yours, Nicholas Maker, President of the Noble Seven Seas Company, Lanka Lemurian Region. Is Nicholas Maker a name from the first game? It sounds kind of familiar. I'm pretty sure Seven Seas Company is from the first game as well. Alright, and there's our pirate. Our first real glimpse at one of the pirates. But we will take an even closer look at him next time. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more The Rise of the Golden Idol.